All right, Baker and Molasses at the Movies. Minus Molasses, but Gus is a very hardworking man. I'm sure he's doing something very important today. Or maybe he's resting, it's a holiday. Maybe he's taking his independence, which is fine. I have a guest here though, so when you don't have molasses, you get honey, which is John Garvey, my guest today.
Thank you.
He was nice enough to come in and do this with me, so this is great. So one of the things I wanted to talk to him about, because I think it's a cool thing to know, like one of your first movie experiences as a kid in the movie theater. Can you think of one?
Yeah, that's a hard one. My parents like movies, both my mother and father and stepfather and mother. And so we would go, and sometimes to inappropriate ones like Psycho. But I do remember Disney movies first. When I was very little, my grandmother would take me to Disney movies, and we'd see, the old ones like Dumbo and all of that. And I remember the band. I think it was Darby O'Gill and the Little People. That was the first really scary Disney movie I ever saw. But back then, the number one biggest kick I got, I would say, was The Sound of Music.
Oh, okay.
With the music itself, and Julie Andrews was just like beautiful.
Yeah.
Even as a little child, you thought, there's a beautiful woman that could sing, and it was just so big.
Yeah, you just made me think back to Mary Poppins too. I was
Absolutely.
Totally entranced. Same lady.
Absolutely, same
and
lady.
Van Dyke, I thought it was sweet. I mean, I love that movie.
They were almost connected because they were about the same time, and absolutely had to see it. And of course, my mother would read us Mary Poppins when we were kids, and there was the real one on the screen, and perfect.
Yeah,
it's done perfectly.
Yeah, she's a great talent for sure. How about teenage years? I have one. I'll say real quick. We had a movie theater in our town, small town like Mayberry. But I remember seeing The American Werewolf in London when I was in high school. But I loved it. Griffin Dunn and David Naughton from the Dr. Pepper commercials. I think that was the only movie he ever did. But
that's right.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? But anyway, I just remember thinking that movie was such a cool blend of horror and comedy. I had never seen that combination before. Now it happens all the time with stuff I haven't seen, like Get Out or Us. I guess they had comedic aspects, but I don't like horror anymore. But back then I thought it was cool. I think when you're younger, horror's not so bad because you don't realize there's real horror in the world.
Good point.
But what about teenage movies? Like, can you think of one that you were like, yeah, this is cool? Or
yes, I can, and they were about the same time. I was about 15, I'd say, maybe 16, that age, and there were two of them, Bonnie and Clyde and The Graduate, which were about the same time, and both of them had women in them. I mean, first of all, Bonnie and Clyde was a violent movie, but it had a big love interest, and boy, Faye Dunaway. Just in love with her. And then there was The Graduate with the fantastic music, great acting, and Catherine Ross. Again, oh man, I would think about those two for a while after the movie.
Very cool. Yeah,
Absolutely.
those are both great movies.
Oh yeah.
And the soundtrack, you're right, with The Graduate.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Can't get any better than that. All right, so how about recent movies? Again, I know you don't go often, but that's okay. And mainly independent, because I'm trying to keep this like independent theater since it was Independence Day yesterday, sort of a theme. Can you think of one? And again, that's a wide definition.
Yeah, it is. And I don't, like you said, most of the ones I've been watching recently have been on television with HBO, Netflix, but I was thinking about that a little, and independent movies, I liked types. Certainly Tarantino movies. I love his movies, and the Coen Brothers. Right off the bat, those two come to mind. And I even remember when the tide turned there. I think it was in the mid-'80s sometime, and I saw a movie called Blood Simple, and it was outrageous. I mean, it had a violent criminal in it, but it was funny, and it was real and scary, and I think that was a Coen Brothers movie.
I think it was.
I think it might have been
the first one, yeah.
And since then, of course there was Reservoir Dogs, but I saw that after Pulp Fiction actually, and Pulp Fiction blew my mind. And since then, well, I think the last one I saw was No Country for Good Men, and I'm going to see the one about Hollywood. I think it's this month. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, it's the end of July.
1969 Hollywood. What could go wrong?
Yeah. And what's it? I should know the title, but I don't.
I don't.
Something about Hollywood in the title.
Yeah, it's got key stars in it and all that, but it's Tarantino, and it's 1969, which crazy year, and
right.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me
one
too, and I can't wait to see. I have not seen Brad Pitt in a movie in a while.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be really good.
What's he been doing since his divorce, anyway?
Well, I think he's dating an MIT professor. That's that's all right.
Smart enough.
He deserves a personal life. But I obviously I love that guy, and not just because his looks. I just think he's really got talent too. And Leonardo's amazing.
And those guys, both of them. I know Brad Pitt was in another great True Romance, which is a pre-Tarantino, but I think he wrote that. I think he was a screenwriter for it. And Brad Pitt was in that too, as his character.
Yeah, and he was also in Burn After Reading, that Coen brother, and he played a really dumb, like beefcake guy that works in a gym. Remember? He was great at that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie too. Let's see, what else were we going to talk about? Well, how about, here's a weird thing. I've seen 2 French movies recently at Burns Court, and they're strange movies. Both of them are strange. The one nonfiction guy, great accolades, but I don't get it. I think it's sort of shallow. And I tried to find, like, okay, what did they like about it? Because there were no redeeming characters in it. And they said, oh, well, it mentions a lot of, like, modern cool things like Taylor Swift. And I'm like, okay, does that make a great film? I actually said, if that's the case, Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire is a masterpiece, right? He just threw in everything but the kitchen sink, you know? It's like, does that make a great movie? But do you have any experience with French films? I know that's a weird question.
Well, no, I used to see a lot of them too. We'd rent them with the subtitles back in the old video store days. Mm-hmm. I find the French and the Italian movies really good about relationships, and they were all dysfunctional ones. But you know, really heavy problems between men and women, basically. And,
yeah, like
that were almost like soap operas, but more real than that. That would really, what would you do?
Right,
kind of
like
a thing.
Truffaut is classic for those.
Yes,
films.
yes.
Yeah, you're right. They really get into the problems. But this one I saw just the other day, it was called The Fall of the American Empire, but it was French, and it was set in Canada. And it basically trashed America and also Canada. I mean, from the appearance of this movie, and they're almost like blaming us as like their big brother, like, look what our big brother, like, corrupted our morals type of thing, you know?
Well, who was it, Canadian?
Yeah, but it was a French director, Dennis Arend, and I guess, I mean, I don't know much about Canada these days, but it looks like there's really bad homelessness. There's gang warfare.
Well, I think they have.
I always thought Canada is this peaceful sort of oasis, but I don't think that's true anymore.
I think they've opened everything up, and they're having problems as a result.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
True.
And I don't think the current, I don't even know what is he, the president or prime minister or whatever, is going to be long for the job. That's my opinion, and I don't know much about it.
I don't either, but
I'm one of those people, and I admit it, I didn't even like Alistair Cooke talking about America. I said, you guys criticizing from over there, you know.
I know. It did bother me too a little bit.
That's for us to do. It's kind of family, you know. Brothers can go after brothers, but don't go after my brother.
Right. Yeah. And I wouldn't. I mean, I guess I would recommend the movie. I think it's got crime in it, and it's a good movie per se. But he's kind of racist in it too, which I was sort of surprised because he cares so much about homelessness, but all of the African American characters were these either dim-witted or criminals, and it's like, jeepers, dude, if you're gonna be woke, spread it over everybody instead of just homelessness. But anyway, that was my take on that movie. He did win an Academy Award, though, this guy. I looked him up, Dennis Arend, for a movie called The Barbarian Invasions, and I might rent it for $3.99 on TV. What the heck? I can afford that, I guess. Speaking of that, okay, so you don't go to a lot of movies in the theater, but let me ask you a question. Do you think it's convenience? Why you just say, I don't want to bother, or is it affordability?
It's a good question. to me, it's an entertainment dollar.
Yeah.
And I'm single now, so I go by myself. And for me, it's like by the time, because I'm one of those people, if I go, I have to buy the popcorn. I know it's bad for me, and I have to get a giant one, and I tell them to put butter on the bottom and on the top, and on the, I have to have all that stuff, and the Coke, and I go in there half an hour early because it says it's supposed to start at 10:30, and by the time it starts, I've got a stomach ache.
Wow, okay, so
from all the popcorn. But it's not.
So for you, it's almost like you have a gambling problem. You're staying out of the casino.
A little bit. But it is a choice now. It's like, unless it's something I really, really want to see ahead of time, I have to be hooked ahead of time.
Right. Okay.
And I'll wait till it comes out on TV. I hate to say that, but it's just I've gotten to that point.
I'm always thinking of marketing strategies, though. So if I was a marketer, what's that? That's not a term. Marketer.
A marketer.
Marketing person. I would be thinking of you and going, okay, what we need to do, movie people, is get better trailers to hook this guy.
Absolutely.
So he gets in there. Right?
Well, that's how I saw the one I want to see about Hollywood by Tarantino, because it was on Facebook. And it had, click on here and we'll send you updates.
Right.
And it just showed about what it was going to be, and it hooked me right away. So I want to see it.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. So.
Okay, so this will be sort of a Rorschach test. I'm going to tell you movies that are at the Sarasota Opera House this summer on Friday nights. Just tell me, and I'm not asking you to buy a ticket. I'm just saying, would you probably go or no? So yes or no. All right, how about Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
The original?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Rear Window.
Absolutely. That's a great movie.
All right. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Probably not, but I did. Too old.
Okay.
Not my.
Key Largo.
Absolutely. Love that movie, and I've seen it many times, but to see it on a bigger screen, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Young Frankenstein.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they got a nice lineup there. It's not every Friday night, but it's a lot of Friday nights that they're showing them, and I think it's a cool idea, because some people never get to go to the Opera House, and so this is a good reason, and you get to see something on the big screen. I like the fact that they're doing that here in town.
It's a great idea, and to be honest, I didn't even know about it until now.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So I helped the Opera House out.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Maybe they'll let me sing. No, but they better not. That would be dangerous. Instead of "It's All Over" when the fat lady sings, it's all
that
over
wouldn't
when
apply in your case.
It's all over when the skinny person sings, for sure. It would definitely be over. No, I'm excited. I haven't.
I don't know what it is. Those old black and white movies are great on the big screen. And when I went to Rutgers, they'd show them, and I was amazed. It made me go back and want to see them again.
Yeah. Well, I hope they continue this, because I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but Televast Road, it's up north Sarasota. They have this big warehouse situation where Sarasota Film Society shows movies in the season, during the season with everybody here. And that's fun too. Like I saw North by Northwest there. It was great.
Great.
Citizen Kane on the big screen. And it's this funky warehouse. Actually, when my dad dropped me off there, he's like, "Punk, I'm not letting you go in there." He looked really sinister from the outside. But you get in and it's really cool. And they had like old time popcorn. It was fun. And Gus Molassis does the moderating and Q&A after. It's fun.
Oh, that is cool.
And so again, for people like you, they're single like me, if you don't feel like going somewhere by yourself, that's actually a good place to go, because you're going to get talking with other people, and Gus is really good about moderating stuff, so you don't feel so like, here I am alone, which is sometimes how I feel when I go by myself. But so it's kind of a good idea too. I hope they bring it back, because I think they're on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I hope they do.
I think it's about maybe a little more promotion. People knew about
like
it.
You said,
it's
you didn't know about the opera, and you
I
live
did not.
downtown.
I did not. You're right.
Yeah, they need to do more advertising. You're right.
I think there's a lot of people looking for things to do that just doesn't occur to them because they haven't thought of or seen it or know that it's there.
So what would be the best avenue for you? TV commercials, or where would you?
For me, it would
Internet?
definitely the internet.
Yeah.
Basically Facebook, because I look at it probably every day.
Okay, Facebook.
And I just think that's a good way to do it. I think most people are connected that way now.
Yeah.
Not just the young people, but even us.
Yeah, I know that's true. It is it's more global for different generations. for sure.